In any sport, there is always one debate that comes up. It comes up year after year, and it's been around for as long as sport has existed. The debate is about who is the greatest of all time, or in modern common parlance, who is the GOAT. Every sport has its own contenders for the GOAT. In some sports, the GOAT is pretty easy to identify, and in others, it's not quite so clear. Learn more about who the GOATs are in many major sports on this episode of Everything Everywhere Daily.
Did I hear you're shopping for a car? Because I've been at it for ages. Ugh, such a time suck, right?
Not really. I bought it on Carvana. Super convenient.
Oh, then comes all the financing, research. Am I right?
Well, you can, but I got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but then all the number crunching and terms, right?
Nope. I saw real numbers as I shopped, found my dream car, and got it in a couple of days.
Wait, like you already have it?
Yep.
Oh.
Go to Carvana.com to finance your car the convenient way.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
This episode is going to be a bit different in that any discussion of the greatest athletes is going to be entirely subjective. There are no definitive answers to the question of who is the greatest of all time. That is what makes it subject to such intense debate. What I'm going to provide here is ultimately my subjective opinion, and I know for a fact that some of my opinions will spark disagreement with many of you. If you disagree, and again, I know many of you will, feel free to leave your opinion on the Facebook group or the Discord server, the links to which are in the show notes. That being said, I am going to be providing my reasons for each selection. I'm not picking them arbitrarily. Before I get into my picks, I should provide a brief background on where the term GOAT came from. It actually began with the boxer Muhammad Ali. Ali called himself the greatest. In the 1990s, after his boxing career was over, his wife began to use the term GOAT as an acronym for greatest of all time. The term became popularized in the year 2000 by the rapper LL Cool J, who titled one of his albums, GOAT, the greatest of all time. The phrase became popularized, and today it is commonly used to reference the greatest of all time. So with that, let's get started with the first GOAT, and I'll start with a relatively easy one, ice hockey. I don't think there is any question that the greatest hockey GOAT has to be Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky holds the NHL career record for goals, assists, and points. Gretzky holds 11 of the top 12 seasons for assists and the top 2 seasons for goals. He won the Hart Trophy, the NHL MVP award, a record 9 times. He was so good his number 99 was retired throughout the entire league. He is very clearly the greatest hockey player of all time, and I don't think anybody else is even close. Another easy GOAT selection is in golf, because Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of all time. There's really only one other contender for the title of golf's GOAT, and that would be Jack Nicklaus. The debate between Jack and Tiger has always been over one metric, the number of wins at major tournaments. Jack Nicklaus has 18 wins and Tiger Woods has 15, and the debate usually ends there. However, if you look at any other metric, Tiger is clearly ahead. Tiger has 82 PGA Tour wins and Jack only has 73. The Varden Trophy is given each year to the PGA Tour player who has the best scoring average. Tiger has won it 9 times. No one else has won it more than 5, and Jack has never won it. If you include the U.S. Amateur, which used to be considered a major, Jack won it twice, and Tiger won it 3 times. At the U.S. Junior Amateur, Jack made it to the semifinals once, and Tiger won it 3 times. Tiger was the tour's top money winner 10 times, and Jack was the top money winner 8 times. Moreover, Tiger did all of this playing in far fewer tournaments than Jack did. Jack played in 586 PGA tournaments for a winning percentage of 12.5%, while Tiger only played in 358 tournaments for a winning percentage of 23%. So despite 3 fewer major wins, I still have to give the nod to Tiger for pretty much everything else. The next sports GOAT that I'll name is in tennis. In men's tennis, I think the answer, as of the time of this recording, is obvious. It's Novak Djokovic of Serbia. Djokovic has won more majors than any other player, with 24. He's won a record 40 ATP Masters events, has been the number 1 player at the end of the year a record 7 times, and he won an Olympic gold medal. The only competitors for the title of GOAT would be Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, whose careers overlapped Djokovic's. In head-to-head competition, Djokovic has winning records against both men. In women's tennis, I don't think the GOAT is quite so clear, but I would have to give the nod to Serena Williams. Many people think that this is a slam dunk, but I think that both Steffi Graf and Martina Navratilova can make a good case. Unlike the men, the careers of these 3 women did not significantly overlap. In terms of major championships, Serena has 23, Steffi has 22, and Martina has 18. However, none of them hold the record, which is held by Margaret Court Smith at 24. If you look at the total number of tournament wins, Martina has 167, Steffi has 107, and Serena only has 73. And that's a very large spread between the 3 of them. Steffi finished the year at number 1 8 times, Martina 7 times, and Serena just 5 times. There's one other metric that really sets them apart: doubles competition. Steffi only had 1 double majors victory and never won one in mixed doubles. Serena was one of the best double players in history, having won 14 doubles majors and 2 mixed doubles majors. Martina Navratilova, however, was arguably the greatest doubles player in history, having won 31 major doubles championships and 10 mixed doubles championships. My point in all this is to show that it really isn't a cut and dry case for either of the 3 women. But I would go with Serena due to her performance in singles competition while still showing herself to be one of the greatest doubles players. In boxing, many people think that the GOAT is Muhammad Ali. Ali was certainly great. And around the year 2000, many lists came out listing the greatest athletes of the 20th century. ESPN put Ali at number 1. My problem with that list is that for Ali to be the greatest athlete, he had to be the greatest boxer. And to be the greatest boxer, he had to be the greatest heavyweight. And I don't think he was the greatest heavyweight. That claim would have to go to Joe Louis, who held the championship for 12 years and won 25 consecutive title defenses. While Joe Louis may have been the greatest heavyweight, does that make him the greatest boxer pound for pound? And there I would have to go with Sugar Ray Robinson, the consensus pound for pound best boxer of all time. Almost every boxing magazine and expert ranks Robinson as the greatest boxer. He had a career total of 201 professional wins, only 19 losses, and 6 draws. From 1943 to 1951, he had a 91-fight winning streak. He held the welterweight title for 5 years, from 1946 to 1951, then won the middleweight title, then retired, and then won the middleweight title back. And the entire phrase pound for pound was invented to describe Sugar Ray Robinson. The GOAT in gymnastics is another really easy one. It's Simone Biles. She has won 11 Olympic medals so far, including 7 golds, making her the second most decorated Olympic gymnast. She also won the all-around gold medal twice. However, where she really separates herself from everyone else is her performance at the World Championships. She has won 30 medals at the World Championships, including 23 gold medals, far more than anyone else. She was also a trailblazer who had no fewer than 5 different vaults, jumps, and moves that were named after her. In swimming, the GOAT is one of the most obvious. It's Michael Phelps. Phelps has won 28 Olympic medals, 23 of which were gold. And this is more than double the number of the next closest male swimmer. He set world records in 7 of the 8 events that he participated in. The greatest female swimmer would have to be Katie Ledecky, who has won 14 Olympic medals, 9 of which are gold. Ledecky swims longer distances, which have fewer events than shorter distances, so she has fewer opportunities to win medals compared to, say, Michael Phelps. She has recently announced that she will be competing at the 2028 Olympics, which means that the odds are good that she will be increasing her medal tally. In the game of cricket, the GOAT is also a relatively easy choice. It's the great Australian batsman Don Bradman. Bradman had a batting average of 99.94, which is the number of runs scored divided by the number of outs made. No one is even close to Bradman in terms of batting. The next closest batting average is over 30 points lower, and to be above 50 is considered to be great. His dominance over everyone else is so great that it's hard to find another sport with such a wide gap between the first and second person. Now let's move on to a sport that will generate a lot more passion and more controversy: association football or soccer. With apologies to many great players, I think that the three candidates for GOAT are Ronaldo, Pele, and Lionel Messi. Pele has 762 career goals, Messi has 838, and Ronaldo at the time of this recording has 895. It would seem that Ronaldo has an edge, but he has also played significantly more games. On a per-game basis, Messi has scored more goals and had more assists among almost every other metric. Messi has been awarded the Golden Ball 8 times, a record 6 European Golden Shoes, and was named the world's best player for a record 8 times by FIFA. Pele won 3 World Cups, and Messi won 1, and Ronaldo has not won any. However, Messi and Ronaldo have had much more successful club careers than Pele, with Messi having the slight edge in terms of team trophies won. So I'd have to give the edge to Messi as the GOAT of football, although the gap between him and Ronaldo is not as great as most people think. What about baseball? Baseball has an abundance of statistics, and almost all of the top-level advanced statistics, which try to evaluate career performance and contribution, all point to one person: Babe Ruth. Despite having played over 100 years ago, he is one of a very small number of players in history to have excelled at both pitching and hitting. He won 7 championships and led the league in some statistical category a record 157 times. At his retirement, he was the career leader in home runs, RBIs, and walks. And to this day, he still has the highest slugging percentage and the second highest on-base percentage in history. In American football, it is difficult to select a single person because each position is completely different. For my greatest defensive player, I'm going with the Minister of Defense, Reggie White. He was selected to 13 Pro Bowls, was a 13-time All-Pro, and was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. He is second in career sacks behind Bruce Smith by only 2 sacks. However, Reggie spent 2 years playing in the USFL, and in those 2 years he registered 23.5 sacks. The greatest running back in history, I think, has to be Jim Brown. He retired early, but he was the greatest running back in an era of great running backs. He was a 3-time MVP and led the league in rushing a record 8 times. Even the father of Barry Sanders, the next greatest running back, thought that his son wasn't as good as Jim Brown. The greatest receiver would have to be Jerry Rice, which is the easiest selection as he holds pretty much every single receiving record. And as for quarterback, as much as it pains me to say it, I have to go with the 7-time Super Bowl champ Tom Brady, who also happens to be the career leader in touchdown passes, attempts, and completions. Now I'll get to what I think will be my most controversial selection, but it is a belief that I've held for a long time and I think the evidence supports it: the GOAT in basketball. I do not think that it is Michael Jordan. He was great, to be sure, but I have to go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. People often point to Jordan's 6 titles, but Kareem also won 6 titles. Jordan won 5 MVPs, and Kareem won 6. Jordan won an NCAA championship, and Kareem won 3. Jordan was named NCAA Player of the Year. Kareem won it a record 3 times, and was also named Outstanding Player of the NCAA Tournament 3 times. And the only reason Kareem didn't win 4 of each of those awards in college instead of 3 was because at the time freshmen weren't allowed to play. And on top of that, he was also named the High School Player of the Year twice. Jordan didn't win a playoff series in his first 2 seasons. Kareem carried an expansion franchise, the Milwaukee Bucks, to an NBA championship in just its second season of existence. Kareem retired as the all-time NBA scoring leader, third in rebounds, and first in block shots. One of the big strikes against Jordan was that he voluntarily quit the game for almost 2 years in his prime to play minor league baseball. This wasn't like being injured or being drafted. It was something that he had full control over and had to be considered in his overall evaluation. I'll end this episode by bringing up the GOAT of GOATs, the greatest of the greats in all of sports, and someone familiar to every member of the Completionist Club, the great Allen Francis, the world's greatest horseshoe pitcher. Just days before I recorded this episode, Allen Francis, on whom I've done a complete episode before, won his 28th Horseshoe Pitching World Championship. He won it in a totally dominating fashion, just like he has won the vast majority of his world championships. He's 54 years old and is still the greatest at his sport by a wide margin, which means that he could still be winning world championships when he is in his 60s against competitors a third his age. I'm sure almost no one disagrees with all of my GOAT picks, but I'm also pretty sure that almost everyone disagreed with at least one of my GOAT picks. And that is just the nature of the GOAT debate. If you want to share your picks for the GOAT in any of the sports I've mentioned or some that I didn't, feel free to head over to the Facebook group or the Discord server to share your GOATs. The executive producer of Everything Everywhere Daily is Charles Daniel. The associate producers are Benji Long and Cameron Kieffer. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who supports the show over on Patreon, including the show's producers. Your support helps me put out a show every single day. And also, Patreon is currently the only place where Everything Everywhere Daily merchandise is available to the top tier of supporters. If you'd like to talk to other listeners of the show and members of the Completionist Club, you can join the Everything Everywhere Daily Facebook group or Discord server. Links to everything are in the show notes.